October 2005. Heathrow Airport. 76 passengers and 6 crew step aboard a British Airways Airbus A319 flight bound for Budapest, Hungary, a short 2.5-hour hop across Europe that would soon turn into one of the most baffling in-flight emergencies in Airbus history. This is the story of how a routine night flight almost became a disaster without warning. At the controls, a 53-year-old captain with nearly 12,000 hours in the air, much of it on Airbus A320 family aircraft. Beside him, a 29-year-old first officer, sharp and capable, but still early in her career. Weather at Budapest was already a concern, low cloud, fog and rain possible. But for now, London skies were clear. They pushed back, taxied through Heathrow's maze of lights, and lined up on the runway. The captain eased the throttles forward. Engines roared. At rotation speed, the A319 lifted into the dark October sky, climbing eastward over the glittering lights of the city. 8 minutes later, just as they approached the UK coast, a sharp clunk echoed through the cockpit, and everything went black. Screens, autopilot, radios, gone. At night, over one of the busiest airspaces in the world, the captain was now hand-flying the jet with nothing but faint outlines outside his window. The standby instruments, meant to give basic altitude, speed, and attitude, were unlit. The radios? Dead. On the ground, air traffic controllers suddenly lost them from radar. A silent, invisible aircraft now drifted through controlled airspace. Inside the cockpit, wind noise roared. Without powered headsets, the pilots shouted to hear each other, fumbling through an emergency checklist on a dim display. And buried at the very bottom, the solution, switching to the alternate electrical supply. When they finally reached it, the cockpit lit up again. Instruments rebooted. Relief, tempered by the fact that some systems, including autothrust and windshield heat, were still dead. The cause, still a mystery. The captain requested a holding pattern while he assessed the situation. Maintenance control, unaware of just how serious the failure had been, told him it was fine to continue to Budapest. But there were risks. Without windshield heat, icing could blind them on approach. The fog in Budapest might require an auto-land, a feature impossible without autothrust, and the true fault, still unknown, could strike again. For 40 tense minutes, the A319 circled at 23,000 feet while the crew weighed the options. Returning would be safe but costly. Continuing meant gambling that the problem wouldn't return. Finally, the captain chose to continue east. With no autothrust, the captain carefully set manual power, something Airbus pilots rarely need to do for long stretches. Over the North Sea, across the Netherlands, into Central Europe, the flight progressed without further incident. Passengers, unaware of the earlier blackout, settled in for the journey, but the pilots' eyes stayed glued to their instruments, ready for the worst. As they descended toward fog-covered Budapest, moisture hit the ice-cold cockpit glass. The captain's entire windshield frosted over. He could no longer see the runway. The first officer took control. No autothrust, low visibility, and one of the most challenging manual landings of her career. At 10:55 p.m. she brought the Airbus down safely. Only then did passengers learn of the technical fault. Investigators later linked the blackout to a generator failure, one of several similar cases in A320 family history. Since then, Airbus has added automatic backup power switching and better lit standby instruments to prevent a repeat. In aviation, every close call is a lesson learned. On this night, it was also the reason 82 people made it safely home. This is Aircraft, true stories from the skies, where safety is written in every flight.